Hello guys, so you're welcome to Iconic Designs. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn how to create this simple but amazing church flyer in Photoshop, okay? So as we can see, I've already created my dimensions. I actually worked with 1080 with 1350 height, okay? Pixels, okay, for this dimension. All right, so the first thing we are going to do is we are going to create our background, okay? So we are going to select your rectangle tool. You set your color to dark, okay? So we are going to have it like this. And then I'm going to duplicate the rectangle layer and I'm going to change the color to this dark green. So I'm going to have it like that. The next thing I'm going to do is to rasterize the dark green colored rectangle layer and then select my eraser tool. I'll make sure my opacity is 100% and then my hardness is 0%. Okay, so what I'm coming to do is to fade or clean part of the green colored layer. Okay, that's the top side, so you just let us wipe some off like this. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to import our image. Okay, so I would want the image to be on top of the dark or the black rectangle layer, so I'll select that one whilst I import in my background image. It's actually a fasting and prayers flyer, so I wanted it to look more spiritual. That's why I selected this particular image. Okay, so let me just adjust it like this. Okay, that's it. So the next thing we're going to do is to rasterize the layer, the image layer, and then we are going to clean some portions out of it. So using our eraser tool, we are going to just clean some parts, okay, so that at least it can blend with the background. So you just do some cleaning, you just erase some sides. Okay, so I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit, and then I'm going to clean. Okay, so I'm going to erase these sides. The reason I'm doing this is I'll place text on the image, so I have to at least make some portion dark so that the text can show. So decreasing the opacity will not really make the eraser tool so strong, so we can have that dark area. You understand? So let me just wipe this area. Okay, let me just clean this area. Great. So what we are going to do next is to add some effects to the image that we just imported. So we are going to go to filter, camera raw filter. Okay, so I'm going to increase some of the dark areas on the face so that at least it will look more brightened. So let me increase the values of the shadow, the values of the blacks. Okay, you just play around with it till you get the perfect image that you want. Okay, so I think I added a little bit of texture and clarity, so this way. And now I added some sharpening to the image, so like this. Good, it's looking bright, but it doesn't really look bright as I want, so I'll still go back to the camera raw filter and add more brightness to it. Now add more brightness to it. So I'll come to the light area and increase the values of the shadow, then the values of the black, and then maybe the highlights. Okay, after that I'll just click on OK. Good, I have a little bit of brightness. So okay, that is it. So now let me just select the background, all of them, and group them. Let me name it this background. background. So let me lock the background layer. Okay, or let me add this before I even lock the background layer. So let me add this light to the image that we have, so that at least it will add some brightness to the image. Okay, so I have this light. I'm going to share with you the files in Google Drive, okay, so you can have access to them. So I'll change the blend mode to screen, okay, so you can see at least it is adding some brightness on the face area like this. Okay, so let me reduce the opacity a little bit because I don't want it to be too much. Good. So let us put it in the background folder, and now let us lock it. Okay, so what we are going to do next is add our text. Okay, so with this particular text I used let me show you the name. These texts have some horrible names. Okay, so I used Agati text, okay, for that's the font that I used for the 5 fasting and prayers. Okay, that is Agati text. Okay, so you can download it on Google. You just search for Agati text, download free, and then it will come. So let me just write 5, and let me increase the size. Okay, so they are in 2. We have the light wide, and then we have the wide extra bold. So I used the wide extra bold. Okay, so let us increase it like this. Okay, so it's the same font I used for the fasting and prayers. So let me just duplicate it by clicking on Ctrl+J. So after duplicating, let me just write in fasting. Okay, so it's all caps, so let me just write fasting and then change the text size like this. This is fine. Okay, so let me change it like this. So let me duplicate, Ctrl+J, and then write prayers, fasting and prayers. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to select the 2, and then I'll reduce the size. Let me zoom in so we can see it. Okay, so this is what we are going to have. Now let me align them to the 5 because that is what I am working with. So let me just bring it down like this. Okay, so we are left with the and. Okay, so it's the same font I used, so I'll just duplicate, and then I'll write and. By duplicating, you just click on Ctrl+J to duplicate. Okay, so let me center this in the middle right here. You can still see that the and is really not getting a lot of space, so that means we have to decrease the value for the fasting and prayers so we can bring the prayers down to provide some space for the and. Okay, so we are going to have it like this. Moving it down, you can just use the arrow keys, and that is what I am using now. Okay, so you can just do the movement. Okay, like this. Okay, so what we are going to do next is to add those 2 lines that is over there, the and area. So we are going to use our rectangle to draw a line, a shape like this. Okay, so we have to make sure the color is white, the fill color is white, and then what we will do is to duplicate it. Okay, you click on Ctrl+J to duplicate. I did this because I really wanted to cover up some space between the and. Okay, that's why I just added this. Okay, so let me increase it like this. It's fine. Okay, like this. Now let me zoom in. What I'm going to do now is I'll select both of the shapes, and then I'll right click and I'll rasterize the layers, and I'm going to use the rectangle Mark II to make a selection of the rectangle tools or the shapes that I created, and then I'll just click on delete to delete them. Okay, or before that, let me show you this simple one. So after you've selected both of them like this, you merge them. So you right click and then you come to merge layers like this. From there you select your rectangle Mark II, and then you just select them. You make a selection around the and then you delete. You just click on delete on your keyboard to delete it, and now we have it beautiful like this. Okay, you can see our work is it's coming out nice. All right, good. So the next thing that we are going to do is to add the fire. Over there we can see there is a fire over here at the side. So I downloaded it from freepik.com. I downloaded the fire from freepik.com. So when you go to Freepik, you just enter fire, or you just enter frame or frames of fire or whatever you just want to search for. But this particular one is fire. You just search for fire, and then they are going to give you different types of them. Okay, you just search for flames of fire or fire flame. Okay, so it will just come. They're actually in vector form, so I'll be opening it with Illustrator. I'll be opening the vector file in Illustrator. Okay, so this is it. You can clearly see it over here. So this is the fire that I used. That's the fire flame. So you just ungroup it, and then like this you select this particular one. Okay, you hold, you click, you drag, and then you bring it to your Photoshop space. You just add it up. So now let us adjust it. Okay, right here it looks beautiful. Let me zoom out and see. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so what we are going to do now is to add the gold effect on the text. Okay, so I can choose to do all these things one by using the gradients, but it's going to take time. So what I normally do is I'm going to make selection of the 5 fasting and prayers, including the rectangle that we made. Okay, I'm going to select all of them, click on Ctrl+G to group them, and then I'm going to duplicate by clicking on Ctrl+J. Now let me let me hide the down layer, and then let me merge group. Okay, the group that we've selected. So now you can see that we have all of this in one group. And now I have this gold image. I'm going to import it over here in Photoshop. Good. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to fix it inside the group 11 layer. Okay, so you just put the mouse in between the gold layer and then the group 11 layer. Whilst your hand is on Alt, and then you click, you realize that the gold layer is being put or placed inside the group 11 layer. Now let us enlarge it and then adjust it in a way that we want. You understand? So we can easily, or we can equally do this with the gradient, but I always prefer to use this because the gradient, it takes some time, and then I will not really get what I want. Okay, so this is how I usually choose to do it. Okay, so now we have our 5 fasting and prayers. So we are left with the days. So with the days, I have this red ribbon that I use to design. So this I equally downloaded this at Freepik. Okay, so you can just search for freepik.com and then you download them. So now let me add the text, that is days. Okay, so this particular text I use Exiformer. Okay, so I'm going to use black to write the days. Exiformer black, like this. Okay, Okay, just like this. Now I'm going to select the ribbon and then the text, and then adjust it like this, and going to tilt it very small like this. Okay, now there we go. We have our 5 days fasting and prayers. Okay, so let us enlarge it small like this. Okay, so a lot of times in design, it has to do with how creative you are. Okay, so you work around with things and then you get things done. All right, so now let me group all these layers that we have. Control plus G, let me group them and name it fasting and prayers. Sorry, fasting and prayers. Good. So now let us add our church name and then the logo. Okay, so I have the logo right here, so let me just import it. Let me import it. So let me place it here like this. Okay, let me zoom in so we can see. Okay, so the church's name is Fire Throne Prayer Altar. So let's just write Fire Throne Prayer Altar. Okay, so let's increase the size. Like this. Okay, so we can just adjust the logo. Okay, so let me say, if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe. We are going to have series of tutorials that are going to come, so you do well to subscribe. Okay, so let me change the font to semi-bold. It's the same Exifoma, but I just changed it to semi-bold. Okay, so we have it like this. And now let us add our presents. Okay, so it's the same thing. Let us just add a text. Present beautifully like this. Let me zoom in, and then let us position it here. Okay, let us make the positioning like this. Now we are going to create an ellipse around it, so you just come to your rectangle, to your right click for the ellipse tool. You make the fill color none, and then you make the stroke color white. Okay, 3.1 is okay, so we are just going to draw. An ellipse around it. So we'll just draw this ellipse too, or this round shape. And then what we are going to do is to tilt it small. Hit on Control plus J to duplicate, and then let us tilt the other one too. At least it's going to give us a very good shape here. Okay, like this. And now we have it. Fire Throne Prayer Altar presents 5 days fasting and prayers. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to add with Prophetess Esther. Okay, so we just come in and we select our rectangle tool. We make sure the fill is null or 0, whatever it is. You just make the stroke 3, and then we will create a shape like this. I'm going to zoom in. You'll get this. Okay, something beautiful like this. Okay, so now let us add in the text. So Prophetess Esther, like this. Let me zoom out. Okay, so we are going to have it now. With the The font for the width, WITH, I used autograph. Okay, so you just search for the font area over here, autograph. This one too, you can equally download it on Google. You just search for download autograph fonts for free. You're going to have it. They'll give you the link to download. Okay, so let us adjust our shape like this. Okay, good. So we can see we have beautifully Fire Throne Prayer Altar presents 5 days fasting and prayers with prophetess Esther. So what we are going to do next is to add our theme and then our time. Okay, so let me not take much of your time. I'm going to fast forward this area because these are just normal gradients that I used for them. I just created a shape. I created a shape like this with a fill color. Okay, and then I just added some little gradients to it. That is a blue gradient, so blending option, and then I came to the gradient overlay. Okay, I already have it set. Okay, so that's it right there. So I just come to blending options, gradient overlay, and then okay, you understand. So the only thing I will have to talk about will be the fonts that I used for the date. The date. So I used the BISON font. That's the Bison font, BISON. Okay, so that's it right there. We have it in bold, and then we have it in light and others. So I used the bold one. So 4th to 8th. Okay, you can clearly see it. All right, and then I added a rectangle beneath it just to place the August over there. You get it. So let me zoom in so that at least it looks like I'm even talking about it. So let me just complete it. So you just select the rectangle or the shape that you are working with. You come to blending options, and then you come to gradient overlay. So inside the gradient overlay, you'll have different options over here, and then you can see clearly these are what I used. So you click on the first one, you select the color. So let me just color pick from this area, and then you just select the gradients that you want to use. All right, these are beginners stuff, so that's why I don't really want to hammer on them. Okay, so boom. And then with the green also, I added a little bit of gradient overlay to it. So I'm going to change these colors. So let me just color pick them. Okay, like this and like that. Okay, so we can see it's right there. Okay, so let me just delete this and fast forward. I'm going to copy and then paste I'm going to copy and paste from the previous work that I did. Okay, so it's over here in this artboard, but I've logged it. So just let me unlock it this way, and you can see inside it I have the groupings of all these things. You can see I have the theme, I have the date, and then I have the zoom details. Okay, so I'm going to do all of that. So I'll only have to copy and paste them so that we won't really take a lot of time. Okay, so let me click on Ctrl+J to duplicate them, and then I'm going to move them into my artboard. like this. Okay, so we can see these are beginner stuffs. Okay, that's why I really don't want to stress on them. So that's it right there. Okay, so let me add the TikTok handle and then other details, so that I'll talk about the last thing. Okay, that's it. Sorry. Okay, so and then we are untouchable. Control plus J. Let me move them into this article. Okay, and there we have it. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is the light effect over here on the work, and then the noise effect also. So we will just make our selection. We are going to add the light effect. So this is it. I downloaded this one from Pinterest. Okay, I downloaded it from Pinterest. So let me import it. And then what we are going to do is to change the blending mode to screen. Okay, so we are going to have something like this. And now let us change the opacity. Let us reduce the value of the opacity to maybe 23 looks good. Okay, and now let me add the noise. So I have this vector also. I downloaded this one also from Freepik. So I'll be sharing with you the materials so that we can work along. Okay, so let me come to the blending option. Because the color is black, I have to change it to white. Okay, and then let me apply some color overlay. It's too much, so let us reduce the value of the opacity so that it can look it's can at least it will look real. Okay, so we have it like this, and boom, that is it. So you can clearly see we just created a simple flyer design. Okay, so thank you so much for watching up to this end. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, and then wait for other tutorials. Okay, so I'm going to share the files in our Telegram page, so the link will be in the YouTube description, so you can just follow us on or follow our Telegram page to have access to all these materials that I used. Okay, thank you so much, and do have a nice day. See you.